Hello and welcome to All the Gear, Some Idea. Hello and welcome back to All the Gear, Some Idea. So we are now on Hyosung GT125. So I recorded two videos today. This one is completely thrown me, if I'm honest. So I was going to go through a list of stuff that we've done to the bike, but I completely forgot to change the air filter. So we have an air filter that's currently sat in the garage waiting to be fitted. So I was going to do a walk around here, but I think what we'll do is we'll probably do a little bit here, and then we'll do the air filter together in a video. But we have got the Hyosung here. It's on the road. It's road legal. It's taxed, MOT'd, insured. I rode it before I passed my direct access, and it was fun. I've ridden it here, and it's not so fun. It's a little bit slow and loud, which is fine, but it's not. Yeah. It'd be good for the challenge. It'd be good for what we're going to do, but it has made me appreciate the 600, even though I'm not happy with it. It's made me appreciate the 600 a little bit more than what we've got with the Hyosung. But I will flip you around now, and then we'll do a little bit of a talk about the Hyosung, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here it is. We have done a lot of work to this bike. This is the £100 challenge bike that I bought. I've tried doing it as inexpensive as possible to kind of show that other people can do the same thing too and enjoy what they're doing. So we're going to start. Didn't run. I'm sure you're aware it now runs by looking at the shorts and everything. And what was wrong with it? Battery, fuel. So put a battery on there and it turned over. The fuel, the tank's rusty, but we've managed to sort that out. The carbs needed to be rebuilt, which we've done. I have to apologise for the audio. If the audio's not very good, I'll re-record this at home. We've then fitted front and rear tyres to it, front and rear brakes, front pads, rear disc. Rear caliper's been rebuilt, front one hasn't. Tail tidy for what was meant to be the ZZR tail tidy. We've also done chain sprockets, so all of that stuff has been done as well. And then, after having it MOT'd, and it had been sat for God knows how many years it had been sat for, and I'd had it MOT'd and it passed the MOT absolutely fine, I leave it in the garage, I come back to it, and there's a puddle of oil underneath it, coming from both front shocks. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. So I couldn't ride the bike anyway, because the front shocks were leaking. So I finally built the courage up to rebuild the front ones, because they're upside down. They weren't actually that bad. I think because they're, wherever this is made to, they're not the best in the world, the shocks, which means they're quite easy to take apart. But I'd imagine they're also quite easy to break. Lucky we didn't have that problem. Fuel gauge now works. Fuel gauge didn't work before. Yeah. Let's get you back to the garage, and I'll probably remind myself of a few more things we've done to the bike. But this is it on the road. I am ready for the challenge. I am ready. I don't know about Lee. I've done an update on his bike, and I do believe at some point this week something is happening to it. So hopefully we'll have more news on that this week, and then we can get these challenges underway, because we want to continue these challenges with bigger bikes and all that jazz. So yeah, if you're interested in a Hyosung GT125R, obviously follow along, and we can go through bits that go wrong with the bike as we're using it, such as just all of a sudden dropping its fork oil, and sort of how we've got parts for it and all that jazz. We've not done full series, like full episodes on like little repairs. We've just done shorts and stuff. But honestly, any questions you've got regarding an XR125 or a Hyosung GT125, please do not hesitate to message us or even email us. Emails in the description below. Yeah, I'm going to get home and we can do the air filter, because I think that's half the reason why it sounds like an absolute bag of crap. I'll show you when I get home. So yeah, I'm going to head home now. We're going to change the air filter when we get back, because I think that's half the reason why it sounds like a really crappy 125. And I'll show you what I did to make it sound like a crappy 125 when we get back. And now, trying to getting performance on a 125, which is possible depending on what 125 you've got. If you've got two-stroke, I completely, four strokes, not so much. But for the size of the bike, I'm happy with it. But I'm rambling, so let's get back to the garage and change this air filter before I forget to do it again. It'll be too late. Okay, so we're now back in the workshop, or the garage, whatever you want to call it. So we can now talk about what we've done on the 125 challenge bike without the wind. Although it's now sunny and the wind is gone, which is sod's law. Take both bikes out, either starts raining or it's windy, or here we are. So we've already discussed, I think, I can't remember what we've done. The bike runs. You've sure seen footage by now of it being ridden on the road. I need to change the air filter. And we'll just have a little rundown of what I've done. I've already explained about the forks, the tyres, the brakes. But once the tank's off, you should be able to see a bit more of what I've done. So yeah, let's get the tank off and we'll have a little chat. Okay, so you should be able to see, if I can get the editing right, here is the air filter. Now, you'll probably be able to see that something's been cut out of that. Yeah, so there's a good forum online that sort of explains the best way of making more performance, yada yada yada. So if it's got an aftermarket exhaust on it, which it has, it's got a Scorpion exhaust on it. Uprate XYZ. So the carbs have been played around with. And then I was like, oh, maybe an uprate air filter would make it work. And as you can see in here, this trumpet bit's been cut out basically. Now, it makes it sound, in my opinion, worse than what it did before as a 125. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the other air filter and I put it next to it, and you can actually see what it looks like. Right, so hopefully, here again, you'll be able to see the difference in these two air filters, being that one has the trumpet in the middle and the other one doesn't. Supposedly that's a modification that you can do to make it so that it will give it more air, which is, yeah, it will give it more air, but in my opinion, it just makes it sound a bit more tinny. So what we need to do now is remove the other one, fit it back. I've done the slow-mo, like take the tank off. Yeah, so let's change that air filter. So we need a Phillips screwdriver. To be fair, I say Phillips. You're probably going to find that it's actually something else, as in called something else, because it's not an actual. Is it because of what it's called? Because it's made in a different country. Is what I'm trying to say. And then we can get to the good bit of an update, a proper update of the bike. I've got a list somewhere. I'd have to do the list tab. I don't want to go too much into it because obviously, don't want to let Lee know what I've done and what I haven't done. I've been that. In fact, you can actually have a look and see what I did. Just cut it out. It gives it more air. The only other option I had was to buy a air filter. Oh, you're what? What? This is going to be a joke. The glue hasn't even bonded to it. There's no glue on it. It's just been squashed as well. I've only just taken out the box. Right. I'm going to repair that. Right, well that was a bit of a joke, innit? Definitely going to email them the video though. Brand new. I forget where I buy it from though. Buy it from? Bought it from. So hopefully now it's not going to fall in there. Very annoying. Very, very, very annoying. You know, goes to show nothing's actually scripted. Anyway, that's annoyed me slightly, but let's crack on with what we were doing. So, the ignition's been fixed. That's in the short, so you can see that. That's when we first got the bike. I have got a list of how much I've spent so far, and I know that Lee has got a list of how much he spent so far as well. So hopefully we can find out who spent it. We don't actually know. Like, although me and Lee are good mates and we talk every day, we don't actually know how much we've spent on each bike. We know what we paid for the bikes. We just don't know what the overall cost so far is. I don't really want to know. It's definitely not a £100 bike anymore. So Christian, if you are watching, I don't know if you are watching, the £100 bike that ran, and you know, a lot of money has gone into it. Not so much money that I won't make any money on the bike, may I add. I won't make a massive amount of money, but what we have got to remember is whatever we get for the bikes will go on to our next challenge. So annoyingly, we haven't done this quicker and sooner, because there's a bike on Facebook right now that's half the price of what I could sell this for, and will be a perfect challenge bike, because it comes with a spare engine. It doesn't need an engine, but it comes with a spare engine. So you pretty much every spare you need. New exhaust, forget about it. Anyway, right, on to the Hyosung. I'm going to switch some cameras around, and then you can have a proper look at the bike, and I can walk around it and talk about it. Okay, so we've got some cameras set up so we can get different angles of the bike, only on one side because don't need to see the other side. So first things first, you'll probably be able to see either one of them. We've got some blue hoses here. So the previous hoses were completely perished, so we needed to change those. Tyres, new front and rear tyres. So we've got, I can't remember what's on the, one's a Maxxis, one's a, well, Battle Axe is this one. Maxxis is the front one, purely on the basis of I couldn't get a pair of tyres. So that's what I had to basically go with in the end. Got 2 fuel filters in here. Now, reason being, the fuel tank's got some rust in it. Now, the rust itself isn't too bad, and I've tried cleaning it out, but when I first ran the bike and took it for its MOT, the fuel filter that was in there, single fuel filter, looked really bad. So these ones, probably can't see, maybe this one, it used to have a load of like sediment sitting at the bottom. Now we've got 2, we've got no real problem with it anymore. So we're fine on that front. I've taken the fuel pump apart, which is just down here. That's fine. Right. So we've put a new front master cylinder on it. We've rebuilt the front and rear caliper. New rear disc and pads, because they were gone. That caliper was seized. If you watch the video of us buying the bike, you will know that it was an absolute struggle, if you watch the video properly, to load this onto the trailer. Fuel gauge didn't work. It now works. So that's actually cleaning up because it was corroded on the actual sender itself. So that's been taken apart, cleaned out and refitted. That's perfect. The screen, that's one thing I forgot. The screen itself was cut down. So anyone that's an eagle-eyed viewer would have noticed that when we bought the bike, it had some weird screen on there, and I've got this one that was from AliExpress, of all places. What else done? Indicators, tail tidy. The indicators are actually right. They're $6.99 from eBay. Now, I thought that's pretty good, up until the fact I keep snapping them. So I've got one over here that's a bit loose. I've glued it about 3 times, and I walk past it and I snap it off. I've had enough of it, so I'm probably going to buy some more indicators just because they haven't got any like rubber bits. So the rear ones are right, but they haven't got any rubber to sort of let the flex if it needs to flex. What else done? Battery, gone through that. Chain sprocket, done that. New clutch cable. Clutch cable was knackered. New clutch cable. New mirrors. I walked past it. I moved the mirror in. I got the 600 out. Brought the 600 back in. Moved the mirror on this. Went to go out on it. Moved it. It fell off my hand. So it's got new mirrors. So what else are we looking at? I've checked the cam chain. Cam chain's absolutely fine. There's no excessive play because they can have problems with that. I think I fitted new front pads. I did indeed fit new front pads. Disc itself's okay. I've got a list of it, but it's on my phone. What else have we got? I think that's it. Oh, I've said about the front forks being a pain. So right now it needs the exhaust leak sorting out, and that's about it. Obviously it's a bit tatty. Headlight's got some great, like, I forget what they call it on the front of it, where it's sun damage basically. Other than that, I think for a 17-year-old, 17, 18, it doesn't matter how old you are really, if you're just looking to get into bikes, if you want something that's a sport style bike, I would definitely recommend buying one of these. This one. Purely on the basis it's quite a big bike. It feels really nice. Compared to getting onto a bigger bike though, it feels completely wrong because it's so light, yet it's really big. So with the fairings on it and how big the frame is, I forget the word. Misleading, I think, is the word. Because you see how big it is and you get on it, but as you're getting on it, you think it's probably quite heavy, but it's so light. So go out on that, and because I'm quite new at riding it, I can't really throw it around. Whereas this, riding it back, you can throw it around because it's so light. It just doesn't go very fast. But like I say, if it's your first bike, other than a 50cc, go for it. If you're looking for something that's going to be more comfortable, that you're not going to be aching, I'd say, I'd definitely go for the HPS Mondial. I've got a lot of time for that bike. It was just a bit small, but I finished what I needed to do with it, and then this came along. So yeah, it depends on your size as well. If you're quite tall, this would be perfect. If you're not quite tall, the HPS will be perfect. I just felt I was too big for it. But if you're shorter than I am, even my size, perfect bike, perfect bike. Same with this. It's just two complete different styles of bikes. I prefer the sit-up style bikes rather than this. But for the challenge, this is what I've got. Yeah, I think that's about it. So what I'm going to do now is refit the fuel tank, and then yeah. Right, so the tank and everything's now fitted, as hopefully you'd have just seen in the time lapse. So what we need to do now is make sure it runs. So give it a go. Right, so as you would have seen then, it runs, which is brilliant. Like I say, MOT went through fine, everything. I'm really pleased with it. I just can't wait to get this over and done with. yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, keep watching the videos. Look out for the next one, which hopefully will be a Lee's bike or a bloody challenge. See ya.